this is something that I wanted to do for a pretty long time now. So, welcome to the first episode of TarantuTALK. So, what is TarantuTALK? When I'm doing hobby stuff, most of the time I'm putting on like a podcast, so I can listen to some stuff while doing either my animal related things or the other hobbies that I am also doing. So I thought, while I am doing some animal stuff, I can talk about a topic that is currently going on my mind. Of course, tarantula or other exotic pet related. I won't talk about the other hobbies, maybe as a hobby, as a big topic, but not necessarily. I don't want to stray from the topic on this channel. So normally I planned to rehouse this live during the recording, but when I checked the footage, I've noticed that and the sound didn't record, so I have to retake this, and here you can see a B-roll of the rehousing. So yeah, this is a Bacillifet, this is a tailless whip scorpion. This one kinda needed a rehouse, so I've done that, and I was talking about the topic that I'm talking right now. So what I wanted to talk about today, like, we are holding those live streams every Thursday, or like mostly every Thursday, since sometimes we are not able to, and we are letting this in advance. We are letting know this advance. So yeah, and one of those topics that I kind of touch here and there is that I do not necessarily agree with like the commonly accepted thought of what is a beginner tarantula. Like, I get this topic from beginners quite a lot. What's a good beginner tarantula? And like most stuff in life, this actually depends. And I've made a small bullet point list here. I mean, it's not big, but just so I have all the stuff in mind that we might talk about today, while you are also doing your stuff there on the other side of the camera. So when someone asks what is a good beginner tarantula and you're venturing out on the internet, most likely you will hear something like Brachypelma, Grammostola. Sometimes here and there you can hear, oh, Chromatopelma. And I think this is not a full answer to this question. Because you see, people are different. They have different experience, different expectations. So I think before you are getting your first tarantula, even what you might consider a beginner tarantula, since when you're starting the hobby, you're always a beginner in a way, you need to take into account what you actually want from this tarantula. So let's say you are complete beginner, you are kind of not aware what to expect, how they behave and stuff. Then yes, like, I think one of the safest way is to say, yeah, get a Brachypelma, Etriltocatl, a Grammostola. But then when you get like further into the hobby, especially if you're getting like a Brachypelma from very small, they grow very, very, very slow, and you see that those spiders are not really the most active ones. And I don't know how you, but when when I started with aquarium stuff, when I was like this big, we had an aquarium, and I wouldn't really want like an aquarium just with those fish that are like just swimming on the ground and eating all the algae. I want something colorful. Even guppies are more interesting because they have all those nice, beautiful colors. They are swimming around here and there. They have babies. Stuff is going on in the aquarium. And I think the same thing applies in a way with tarantulas. Because when you get into the hobby, you come with this expectation that the spider will do some things. They will web up stuff. They will walk around here and there. Maybe even eventually they will give you a threat pose. So you kind of come with this expectation that they are more active. Yet when you start the hobby with something like a brachypelma or a grammostola, then most likely you will observe the spider in like their natural behavior, like those species or like this genus type behavior. So they will be like pet rocks. And I don't really think that for someone who is getting into the hobby that this might be interesting in a way. Sure, they are beautiful. Those are beautiful spiders. Don't get me wrong, and they can be good beginner spiders if you want something like this, something that is sluggish, something that is very, 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 very slow, then yes, this might be something for you. But if you want something that is a bit more active, then you will get quickly, I think bored is a bad word here. Oh, we have a hornet here. How did this one get in here? Sit down. Okay, we leave this a bit unedited. That's kind of fun, I think. So, if you want something more active, then you are kinda.
Maybe we should check too.
We make a technical break. Okay, Hornet has been released. So, where were I? Ah, yeah. If you want something a bit more active, then you will be disappointed with brachypelmas and grammostolas. If someone would ask me something that is a bit more like, that is doing something, I would be more prone towards telling like, yeah, get a chromatopelma, get even an acanthoscuria, or sometimes even a nandu. And yeah, I know some of you will now jump up and say, but no, nandu, they can be aggressive. They can be a bit defensive, yes, but when you keep them from small, and they will be very skittish, and with time they will get more and more feisty. And I think this is kind of a good thing, because this will remind you that we are dealing here with wild animals that cannot be tamed. So yeah, I think this might be actually a good thing, because if you're getting something that is considered docile, and I think there can be some like harmful habits, like bad habits, or like yeah, let's call them bad habits about the hobby, because you might actually think, yeah, you can handle them because they don't do anything, and this is not necessarily true. Brachypelmas, grammostolas, all those nice and cuddly tarantulas can also bite. It will also be painful, and if you get those habits early on, you might get like this feeling that all of those tarantulas are like that. And I think this might not necessarily be positive for the hobby, especially if you're starting. There is definitely also like this, there are some negative like thoughts about what, no, that I phrased that bad. Some species have like this stigma of being thought as bad beginner tarantulas because they have certain, they are in the hobby thought to be prone to pass away. Like for example, avicularias, caribenas, there's this kind of myth that they are prone to passing away. But that's not necessarily true if you're keeping them under certain conditions. For example, with good cross ventilation and not overwatering, they are fine. And they make absolutely beautiful beginner spiders because they are doing something completely different than those common beginner tarantulas. Sorry. They make something completely different than those commonly considered beginner tarantulas. They are not terrestrial, they are arboreal, so they'll make like a net where they'll live, like a hammock, so to say, or like a net webbing sock on the top of the enclosure, which is also super cool to observe how they actually live in the wild. Although I think in the wild they would live in like holes in trees. So this is also cool to observe. Yet they still have this stigma of potentially passing away, like because reasons. Psalmopeus, also pretty hardy tarantulas. They are a bit faster, sure, but if you are aware of that, if you do some prep work when you're rehousing them, if you're not overconfident with them, then they can also be good beginner tarantulas. If someone is experienced, generally experienced with exotic pets, then even they could consider getting something hardcore, so to say, something African or even Asian. Technically they are also beginner tarantula keepers, but they have some experience and they know what they are dealing with. So I think the key of figuring out what's a good beginner tarantula for you, like you beginner keeper right there, is you need to know what you want. You need to know if you want something very chilled, just sitting there doing absolutely nothing the whole day unless there's food coming. If you want something colorful. I think if you're a total newbie, you should stick to New World tarantulas. But other than that, if you're cautious, if you know what you're dealing with, everything can be a good beginner tarantula for you. I think also a very important point is to know what is available close to you and in what price range you are operating. Don't get anything expensive when you're starting. Get something cheap when you're starting. Because yes, when someone starts, they will do mistakes. Not necessarily fatal mistakes for the tarantula, but still mistakes. So the price should be low. But other than that, if the tarantula is like not extremely venomous, if it's not hyper defensive, if you keep the conditions for the tarantula, like the like crucial conditions on a good level, I think most newer tarantulas, or even all newer tarantulas in a way, can be good beginner tarantulas. And I would really like to ask you to leave you experienced tarantula keepers who might actually agree or disagree with this, because this is in a way a subjective topic. There are objective points, but I think in the end a lot of things depend on who is getting the tarantula. So you, dear experienced tarantula keepers, leave your experiences down in the comments, because I would also be interested what you think, if my point of thinking is correct or not. Or maybe we meet somewhere there in the middle. And generally, to everyone, to beginners and to experienced keepers, I would like you to write interesting questions, like questions that you might be interested to talk about, like more my point of view on certain things, or like general information regarding stuff around this beautiful hobby that is spider keeping. There might be even some questions that I don't know, but I will be happy to check the internet to get, not just the internet, but to share my experiences plus the additional knowledge that I will acquire and come to some conclusions. Yeah, this might be interesting. And I already have some fun ideas for future episodes of the TarantuTALK, sorry. If you like what you saw and don't want to miss the next TarantuTALK and other exotic pet related videos, or join one of our live streams that are on most Thursdays, consider subscribing, ring the bell, leave a comment what you like, what you want to see in future videos, and as always, thank you for watching. Tarantula out.